young phenom, rapper dapper, taking over SoundCloud by storm, weaseling his way into Spotify, has now put out his first new single called Sleep Edgin'. We're gonna dissect this song bar for bar, and then we're gonna see what the young man has to say himself on a TMZ interview. Sleep edge till you're dead. Till you're dead. Jabba.
Sling white ropes
until this chicken's choked.
Till Mo gives you pills that make your balls float.
Okay, let's go back over that bar. Alright, I let people sling white ropes until there's chickens choke. Just crazy, beautiful imagery that suggests, hey, these types of people have masturbation addiction, you know? Basically these guys, they goo until their goo stops gooing. There's nowhere goo to goo. And then their thing goes like that, little goo tube just kind of whoop. And then a second bar, broken croak till Mo gives you pills that make your balls float. So when they stop performing, they have to look for other routes. They gotta go for PEDs, performance enhancing drugs. PEPs, performance enhancing pills. Let's lock back in on these other bars.
Tally the strokes, pop the coke. Don't listen to the doctor's jokes, they all fools, and the proverbs the wise men spoke.
Oh my god, bro. Tally the strokes could be a double entendre. I don't know if you meant it that way, but strokes being as a stroke in it, but also strokes as it being 1, 2, 3, 5 times I've gooed and now I can't goo no more. And then he pops the coke after, therefore to give him a performance boost. Fucking brilliant. And then look at this, don't listen to the doctor's jokes. So obviously it became such an issue that he went to the doctor. They all fools, and jokes obviously being like doctor's advice, right? This is how this person, young rapper the dapper, viewed the advice from the doctor. They all fools, in the proverbs the wise men spoke. Once again, just more beautiful imagery that just shows that, hey, young rapper the dapper just does not believe a lick these doctors are saying about his addiction, right? Wait, this part's not talking about rapper the dapper, I don't think. Because it doesn't say, like, I in this, huh? No. So he could just be talking about, like, a subsection of people that just masturbate a lot. Unless he says I in the next few, like, bars. We'll see.
All fools and the proverbs the wise men spoke. No, a brick for your egg.
There it is. No. So basically, what young rapper dapper is talking about is just for a subsection of people. It's not for him. It's not for him at all, because it goes no, which completely cancels out everything. Well, not cancels out, more or less just says, hey, the last section does not apply to me. Let's see what section does apply to him. Would make sense because sleep edge, I'm assuming that's his chronic addiction. It's been on the rise.
Edge, the amygdala, bow to the catch, it's giving blood stern. Look on, sail the flood. Like an import disease after the rush, tell ourselves, frame the chase, I'm living it, bro.
Alright, let's go back a couple of these bars. So, I didn't realize this at first, but I might pointed this out. So apparently, I think there's a double entendre here. Hold on. How far back we going? So, a brick for your edge the amygdala. Apparently that's like a flip or something like that. I don't know what the fuck that's called, but a brick for you is supposed to run with amygdala, and basically he's like flipping it, you know? He's like flipping it. So it's like a brick for your edge the amygdala. So I'm assuming that's like something that's cool in the rap community. I have no idea. I listen to hip hop. But apparently a brig for you. So apparently brig is like a ship, right? So look, a brig for you, and then he follows up with the next few bars, bow. A bow is a part of a ship, but also bow in this context is to be like giving yourself up to the chase, that's sleep edging the chase, right? The catch. Oh wait, no, this one says catch, right? So bow to the catch that sleep edging is giving to you. It's basically, even though bow is like the name of a part of a ship, or like a ship terminology, I don't know. Bow to the catch is a double entendre because bow is a part of ship terminology, like brig ship terminology, but it also means to like give yourself up to the addiction, basically. Watch this. He does more with it.
Blood stern, look on.
Also, this part was pretty cool. Let's go back on this. He given blood. I don't know why. That does things to my brain. Lock in. Stern. Stern being another part of the ship. I couldn't tell you what that means. I think that means left side. Don't quote me. Stern look on, sail the flood. Sail the flood also alluding to like this is like a sea, this addiction thing is a sea or something other. I don't know. It just sounds cool with brig. But stern, look on. Now, why would look on be here? So stern, look on. In the very next bar, I think, right? Lock in. You have a stern look when you're locked in. And then look at this. Port. Bro. Port, I believe, is also another ship term. And he says, lock in and look on just like work together. And stern and port work together for the double entendre. Lock in and port. Port meaning part of the ship, I think. And then port also means to put into something. And port the Z's after the rush. Rush working with Ketch in the previous bar. And then, of course, just like Z's being sleep, I would assume is what he is meaning here. Let's finish the song.
Z's after the rush, tell ourselves frame to chase, I'm living it, bro.
Rush, chase, catch. All synonyms for just like things the addiction gives you. In this case, the addiction being sleep etching. Simply phenomenal. Only this is like an excerpt from his entire single. We got this one early. I'm gonna play the entire song from front to finish, just so my ears can goo, right? We're gonna see what happens.
Sleep edge till you're dead.
Sleep edge till you're dead.
A lot of people sling white ropes until those chickens choke, broken croak till Mo gives you pills that make your balls float.
Make your balls float.
Pop the coke. Don't listen to the doctor's jokes.
Doctor's jokes.
And the proverbs the wise men spoke.
Wise men wrote.
A brick
No.
for your edge the amygdala.
Edge the amygdala.
It's giving you giving blood stern. Look on, sail the flood. Like in a disease after the rush. Tell ourselves frame to chase. I'm living it, bro.
Oh, God, he's so good. Wow. What was that at the end? No. What was that? He sounds like there's some sort of like scuffling or ruffling around. Of course, I don't have the full song. This could be money. I'm hoping it's not other skin on skin contact, if you catch my drift. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. It just sounds like fanning. Couldn't tell you what that was. But let's get right into the nitty gritty. He was interviewed by TMZ and he had a lot to say about the song. Got my notes right here. Well, let's see what he has to say. So apparently he annotated by TMZ journalist Frank Frunk, real name, I promise. He annotated his input, and biggest question out of the way, what is sleep etching? Young Dappa Rappa told the reporters the sleep etching was a tactic to drive your body to a brink of exhaustion by pushing the physical limits of the body and foregoing sleep over a 48-hour period. He mentioned he would hear items fall when they didn't, be locked in a tunnel vision, and have uncontrolled fits of laughter. Although I didn't write it down in my notes, other interviews suggested that sleep etching is similar to like shrooms and similar to like acid, but instead of being connected and like one with the planet, it's just purely isolated on you, freaking the fuck out. He later explains that this was more mimicking escapism and that he used sledging as a tactic to feed into irresponsible desires instead of doing what needed to be done. Now, this alludes that he was straying away from his responsibilities. Maybe he wasn't working as hard. His fucking room was a mess. I don't know. Whatever that entails. So the genius importer, Mr. Frank from was like, hey, what does that mean? Give us something to work with, give me some threads here to weave some story for the press, for the paparazzi. So apparently, what that entails is, quote unquote, in a very vulgar statement, he said, to fix mud. Alright, let's take a step back now. What does he mean by that? Apparently, further insight claims that he seldom manhandles himself and that he suffers from chronic, quote unquote, phallic fatigue derived from sleep etching. It's a crazy statement, sir. What you mean by that? What you mean by chronic phallus fatigue? I think we all know what that means. He says he went to the doctors and they have said that this practice has drastically deteriorated his brain. However, just before it was too late, he finally cold turkeyed and has almost made a full recovery months later. And then he dropped this single. This single, its purpose is to raise awareness to chronic sledging and to fundraise community centers to help those in need. Now, it takes a selfless person, very selfless, to come out about one's flaws and to promote something for the benefit of society. That's what this man has done. And honestly, I respect it. I myself don't suffer from this illness, but a lot of you do. So give this album a listen to when it comes out on January 45th, 1992. You have a great day.